I'm Eldon, a regular guy living in a small town in the Midwest. I work as a graphic designer for a local advertising agency. My wife Jane and I have been married for 5 years. Our life is quiet and stable, but also full of warmth and love. At least, that's how I see it. Until the day I stumbled across some suspicious text messages on Jane's cell phone. It was a name I'd never heard her mention before, and the content of the texts was disturbingly ambiguous. Did you miss me? When will we see each other again? I really hope to see you again. Each one of them is like a thorn in my heart. At first, I tried to convince myself that it was probably just a misunderstanding. Maybe it was an old friend of Jane's. Maybe the texts were just harmless jokes. But deep down, a voice inside me told me that it wasn't that simple. I began to watch Jane's every move. She seemed to have become more aloof than before, and often dismissed my concerns and greetings. She began to make up excuses to go out, sometimes even coming home late at night. Whenever I tried to talk to her about it, she would always change the subject. The atmosphere between us became more and more tense. I felt bitter and confused, wondering if there was something wrong with our marriage. I tried to convince myself that it was just a temporary difficulty and that we could get through it together. But as time went on, my doubts deepened. I began to question our relationship and our marriage. I kept going back to the text messages and picturing Jane with another man. Jealousy and anger burned in me, but at the same time, I felt a deep sense of powerlessness and sadness. What should I do? Should I confront Jane directly? Or should I continue to be patient and hope that this is all just a misunderstanding on my part? I felt like I was standing at a crossroads, and whichever direction I chose, it would change the course of my life. I spent sleepless nights in pain and confusion. I knew that I had to make a decision, but I didn't know which one was the right one. I only knew that our marriage, our relationship, was facing an unprecedented test, and the outcome of that test would determine our future. During this difficult time, my only solace was my work. I put all my energy into my design projects and tried to forget about my family troubles. It was at this time that I began to develop a friendship with my coworker, Candy. Candy is a new copywriter in the company, and we are working closely on a large advertising project. She is a very positive and optimistic person, always able to defuse stress with her sense of humor. I found myself slowly relaxing with her. We started talking after work, sharing our lives. I told her about my problems with Jane, and she always listened patiently, giving me understanding and support. Her encouragement gave me a sense of warmth, and her friendship was a light that shone brightly in this time of doubt and pain. However, just as my friendship with Candy was deepening, I accidentally discovered Jane's relationship with another man. It was a weekend afternoon. I came home early to surprise Jane, but when I opened the bedroom door, I saw a scene I'll never forget. Jane was naked and intimate in our bed with a strange man. At that moment, I felt the world fall apart before my eyes. Anger, grief, disbelief, all of these emotions exploded in my heart. I rushed forward and screamed at them. Jane panicked and tried to explain, but I couldn't hear any more. I later found out that the man's name was Robert, an old classmate of Jane's. They met again at a class reunion and started this shameful relationship. They met again at a class reunion and started this unseemly relationship. Jane said she felt that our marriage had lost its passion, and Robert gave her new excitement and joy. I felt completely betrayed. The woman I loved, the wife I had vowed to spend my life with, was cheating on me with another man in our marital bed. For a moment, I felt a mixture of anger, humiliation, and helplessness that almost engulfed me. I stormed out of the house and wandered aimlessly through the streets. I didn't know where to go or what to do. All I knew was that I couldn't bear to stay in that house, couldn't bear to be in the same room with Jane. My heart felt like it had been torn in half, one half full of pain and the other half full of confusion. I took out my cell phone, hesitated for a long time, but dialed Candy's number. I needed to talk to someone who could understand me and support me. On the other end of the phone, Candy's voice was like a spring of fresh water, relieving my inner anxiety. She comforted me and encouraged me to be strong and to face the situation rationally. At her suggestion, I decided to move out for a while to give myself and Jane some time to cool off. I knew that our marriage had reached a crisis point, and I had to make a choice. But in this moment, All I wanted to do was run away from the reality that had scarred me. After moving out of my and Jane's home, I temporarily stayed in a friend's apartment. There, I had enough time and space to think about our marriage and my life. Every day, I struggled with pain and confusion, not knowing how to face this harsh reality. A few days later, Jane came to me and said she wanted to talk to me. We met in a park outside the apartment and sat on a bench in silence, neither of us knowing how to speak. Eventually, Jane broke the silence. She said she was sorry, but also expressed her dissatisfaction with our marriage. She says we've lost passion and communication, and she feels neglected and left out. She longed for excitement and adventure, while I just wanted to live a quiet life. She said that when she was with Robert, she rediscovered herself and found a joy and freedom that she hadn't experienced in a long time. Listening to her, I felt angry and sad. I questioned her why she could not communicate directly with me and chose to betray our marriage. I accused her of being selfish and irresponsible, with no regard for my feelings. Our conversation quickly turned into a heated argument with mutual accusations and hurtful comments. We argued for a long time without getting anywhere. We both realized that the problems between us had accumulated for a long time and could not be easily resolved. Our values and pursuits had diverged greatly, and we had different expectations of each other and of marriage. In the end, we came to a painful but necessary decision. We were going to live apart for a while and think calmly about our future. Jane agreed to move out of our house, and I continued to live in a friend's apartment. We both needed some time and space to think and decide whether we could continue the marriage. The separation was not easy. I felt lonely, lost, scared, and uncertain about the future. I kept thinking back to the good times we had, the days when we loved each other and stayed together. But at the same time, I couldn't forget Jane's betrayal and couldn't forgive her for the hurt she had caused me. I began to re-examine our marriage and myself. I realized that there were problems between us and that there was a disconnect and alienation. We were so focused on our own lives and work that we neglected to care for each other. Our communication is becoming less and less, and our lives are becoming more and more like two parallel lines, drifting apart. I realized that if we couldn't resolve these issues, if we couldn't rediscover our common goals and pursuits, then our marriage would be untenable. The specter of divorce began to loom large in my mind, and I felt fearful, but at the same time, I felt a strange sense of relief. Maybe it's better for both of us to end this miserable marriage and start over. Maybe we both need a new start, a chance to pursue ourselves and realize our dreams. The idea became clearer in my mind, and even though it meant more pain and hardship, I knew that I had to have the courage to face it. I began to consider the possibility of divorce and began to prepare for a new life. I knew that it would be a difficult journey, full of unknowns and challenges. But I also knew that I had to be brave enough to take this step, for myself and for my future. After deciding to get a divorce, I officially started living on my own. At first, I was overwhelmed by the mixture of loneliness and freedom. I was so used to having Jane around and to the rhythm of our life together. But now, I had to reacquaint myself with myself and reorganize my life. I moved into a small apartment and started trying new things in an attempt to get back to my old self. I signed up for a health club and started working out regularly. The daily morning jogging and gym training not only made me physically stronger, but also improved my mental state. The drenching of sweat and the soreness of my muscles made me feel more relaxed and satisfied than ever before. In addition to working out, I've picked up some of my old hobbies. I started going to art galleries and museums more often to see the art treasures that I once didn't have time for. I signed up for a photography club to learn how to capture life's moments with my camera. I even started writing, putting my feelings and thoughts into words. Gradually, I realized that my life had become full and meaningful. I realized anew that apart from marriage and family, I have many other possibilities, goals, and dreams worth pursuing. This process of self-discovery was not easy, but it gave me the courage and motivation to move forward. I also started to socialize more and meet new people. I joined a volunteer group to help the elderly and children in the community. In interacting with them, I felt a warmth and satisfaction that I hadn't felt in a long time. Their smiles and gratitude make me feel that my life has a new meaning. Through this series of changes, I gradually rebuilt my self-confidence and self-esteem. I began to believe that no matter what kind of setbacks and injuries I experienced, I was capable of facing and overcoming them. I began to learn to appreciate my own strengths and accept my own weaknesses. I began to understand that true happiness and value come from inner peace and satisfaction, not from external recognition and judgment. At the same time, I was keeping an eye on Jane. As far as I know, with the support of her friends, she began to reflect on her behavior and the problems in our marriage. She realized that her pursuit of excitement and freedom actually stemmed from her inner emptiness and confusion. She began to learn how to communicate with others and how to express her needs and feelings. Although we have taken different paths, I sincerely hope that she will find her own happiness and direction. After all, we once loved each other deeply, and we share too many memories and connections in our lives. This kind of concern and blessing may be the last friendship I can give her. In this process of self-discovery and growth, I have come to realize that the road of life is never smooth. Frustrations and difficulties, injuries and losses are all inevitable experiences. But what really matters is how we face these challenges, how we get back up after falling down, and how we find ourselves again after losing. During my personal growth, my relationship with Candy has also been changing. We went from being partners at work to confidants in life. We began to meet frequently and share our lives and feelings with each other. Every time I talked to her, I felt a sense of unprecedented ease and pleasure. Candy's optimism and cheerfulness is like a ray of sunshine that shines into the darkness of my heart. She always finds the beauty and hope in life with her unique perspective. With her encouragement, I began to learn to look at my life in a more positive light. I began to believe that loss does not mean the end, and that the end may be a new beginning. Gradually, Candy and I became more and more affectionate. We started holding hands, hugging, and sharing secrets and thoughts that belonged only to each other. We began to plan for the future and think about our life together. In her company, I feel that the past pain is slowly healing, and the past confusion is slowly dispersing. We started to date officially and began to experience the sweetness and joy of being a couple. We traveled together to explore the vast world. We cooked together to share our food. We read together to find common thoughts and inspiration in books. Every moment with her makes me feel the beauty and fulfillment of life. Candy's presence has given me the ability to love and be loved again. Her love is warm and firm, tolerant and selfless. Under the nourishment of this love, I feel that I am growing up little by little, becoming braver and more confident little by little. I began to truly believe that no matter what happened in the past, I have the ability to create a better future. Meanwhile, I also learned from my friends that Jane started dating a man named Stefan after she broke up with Robert. I heard that he is a mature and stable business consultant who shares similar values and pursuits with Jane. Although our marriage is over, I still sincerely hope that she can find her own happiness. I realize that the problems between Jane and I are not just her fault. We were both immature and selfish at times, and neither of us did everything we could to keep the relationship going. Divorce may be our last gift to each other, a chance to start over, a chance to find our true selves. In this new chapter of our lives, Candy and I are walking hand in hand, charting our future together. We talk about our marriage, our children, and the dreams we want to realize together. Although the road ahead is still full of unknowns and challenges, with her company and support, I feel fearless. I began to truly understand that love is not a kind of possession and control, but a kind of fulfillment and motivation. True love should let us become a better version of ourselves and let us pursue our own ideals and values. The love between Candy and I is exactly this kind of love: honesty, equality, mutual respect, and mutual fulfillment. Under the guidance of this love, I see the infinite possibilities of life. I see a future of continuous growth and progress. I see a life full of love and hope that we have created together. All of this makes me feel incredibly lucky and grateful. I know that I have found the most precious treasure in my life, not only Candy's love, but also my own love that I have rediscovered. With this love, I have the courage and strength to face everything, and the freedom and passion to follow my dreams. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, Candy and I have been together for 2 years. During these 2 years, our relationship has deepened and our lives have changed for the better. We moved to a new city together and started a brand new life. I found the perfect job at a design firm, and Candy has found her passion at a nonprofit organization. Just as we were settling in and enjoying our new life, an unexpected encounter brought my mind back to the past. It was at a summer festival in our small town when I happened to see a familiar figure in the crowd. It was Jane, my ex-wife. She looked a lot different, no longer the cold and distant woman she remembered. Her face glowed with calmness and confidence, and her smile became more sincere and warm. Under my gaze, she seemed to feel my gaze. She turned her head and our eyes met in the air. At that moment, time seemed to freeze. The past, the good and the bad, all flashed in my mind one by one. I saw the sweetness of our love, but also saw the pain of our separation. I saw our common memories, but also saw our respective growth. In this flood of emotions, I suddenly realized that perhaps it was time to let the past really go. I walked toward her. She also walked toward me. In the hustle and bustle of the holiday season, we quietly faced each other with indescribable feelings in our hearts. We found a quiet corner and began a mature and honest conversation. We talked about our lives and how we had changed and grown over the years, and Jane told me that she had learned how to truly love and be loved in her relationship with Stefan. She learned how to be honest about her needs and feelings, and how to give and take in a relationship. She is grateful for our marriage and the opportunity it gives her to reflect and change. I also opened up to her and shared my story. I told her about the pain and struggle I went through after losing her, but it was these experiences that gave me the opportunity to recognize myself and rediscover the meaning of life. I told her that it was Candy's love that gave me the courage to love and be loved again. We talked for a long time about the past, the present, and the future. In this honest conversation, we released all our resentments and misunderstandings, and we reached a true reconciliation. We realized that we are no longer our old selves. We are all learning and growing in this journey of life. This conversation has released and purified our hearts like never before. We knew that our marriage was over, but our care and blessings would last forever. We decided to become special friends in each other's lives and to love and support each other in a new way. When I said goodbye to Jane, I felt an unprecedented sense of relief and ease. I knew that I had truly let go of the past, of all my regrets and resentments. I embraced the present and my future with Candy. After my reunion with Jane, my life seemed to have entered a whole new phase. The shadows of the past had completely lifted and the light of the future was emerging. My relationship with Candy became more stable and deeper, and we began to seriously consider our future and plan our life together. We often spend our free time after dinner or on weekends thinking about our future. We talk about our careers, our dreams, what we want to accomplish. We talk about the city we want to live in, the house we want to own, the pets we want to have. We paint a picture of our ideal life, and a picture full of love and hope unfolds in front of us. In order to make these beautiful visions more concrete, we decided to take a road trip. We chose a beautiful seaside town and spent a romantic and unforgettable weekend there. We walked on the beach, hugged in the sea breeze. We watched old movies in the open-air cinema and danced to the songs of street performers. This wonderful time made us more excited about our future life. Back in our daily lives, we begin to plan our future more carefully. We calculate our incomes and expenditures and develop our savings plans. We discuss our careers and think about how to strike a balance between career and family. We even begin to think about the details of our wedding, imagining our eternal vows with the blessings of our friends and family. Every discussion and planning makes me feel so happy and solid. I know that I have found the most important person in my life and my true home. Every day with Candy is full of love and warmth. We are growing together, making progress together, and creating a beautiful life together. Meanwhile, I had also heard from friends that Jane and Stefan's relationship was going steady. They were living together and were thinking about getting married. When I heard this news, I was very happy for Jane. I know that she has finally found her happiness and someone who can truly understand and support her. Jane and I still talk on the phone and email occasionally, sharing what's going on in our lives. We talk about work, we talk about life, we talk about our partners. Every time we communicate, I feel a special sense of friendship and care. Although we are no longer husband and wife, we will always be an important part of each other's lives. Life went on in an ordinary and happy way. The relationship between Candy and I grew stronger and stronger, and our future became clearer and clearer. We plan to have our wedding next spring and make our promise in the cherry blossom season. We also plan to buy a house after the wedding and start our real family life. Whenever I think of this, my heart is filled with joy and gratitude. I am thankful for all the experiences in my life that have made me a better person. I am thankful for all the people who have loved me and helped me, and for making my life so rich and complete. I know that there is a long road ahead, with many unknowns and challenges. But I also know that with love and hope, with the courage to continue to grow and progress, I am fearless. Because I understand that the true meaning of life never lies in the destination, but in the scenery and feelings along the way. Not in what we have, but in what kind of people we can become. Spring is coming. Everything is reviving and full of vitality. In this season of hope, Candy and I's wedding came on schedule. We chose a beautiful outdoor venue, in the presence of friends and family, and made a vow to be with each other for a lifetime. The wedding was simple, but full of love and warmth. When I looked at Candy in her white dress, my heart was filled with emotion and joy. I know that at this moment, our lives have been intertwined forever. From now on, we will face everything in life together and share the pains and joys of life together. After the wedding, we started a whole new life. We decided to move to another city to start our new life. I found a new job there, and Candy found her favorite career in a child welfare agency. Together, we explored the new city, made new friends, and started a new social life. Moving is hard work, but full of fun and anticipation. We took care of our new home together, shopping for furniture and decorations. Every discussion and decision made us feel close and happy. We knew that we were building our future together brick by brick, realizing our dreams bit by bit. In our new environment, our lives are gradually getting on track. Although we were busy with our work, we both found fulfillment and value in our respective fields. We spend our weekends together exploring the city, sampling the local cuisine, and enjoying the different landscapes. We also invite new friends to our home and share our lives and stories. Every day, I feel incredibly happy and fulfilled. I thank Candy for all the love and support she has brought me and for making my life so complete and beautiful. I am also thankful for my past experiences, which have allowed me to grow and learn how to love and cherish. Occasionally, I think of Jane and our past together. I sincerely wish that she and Stefan will find their own happiness, just like Candy and I did. I know that everyone's path in life is different, but as long as we are brave enough to pursue and work hard, we can all find our own piece of sky. Time passes, years change. In the blink of an eye, Candy and I have been married for 5 years. In these 5 years, we have experienced a lot together and have grown a lot together. We have our own house, a lovely pet, a stable and full life. Our love has also become deeper and stronger through day-to-day companionship and bonding. Whenever I think back on all this, my heart is filled with gratitude and fulfillment. I am grateful for every person and experience in my life because they have shaped me into the person I am today. I am satisfied with my life at the moment, and I am satisfied with what I have because this is the happiness I once dreamed of. I know that there is still a long way to go in the future, and there are still a lot of unknowns and challenges waiting for us. But I believe that as long as we walk hand in hand, as long as we carry hope and courage, we will be able to overcome everything and create a better tomorrow. Because I understand that the meaning of life never lies in the result, but in the process. Not in where we arrive, but in how we try and grow. And I am on this path of continuous exploration and progress, with love and faith, writing my own unique life story. This is all I think. This is my most sincere feelings and understanding of life. In the days to come, I will continue to carry this realization forward, with the love of life and gratitude, to meet every new tomorrow. Dear friends, today I share my story with you. It is a story of love and growth, of loss and rebuilding. In this story, I have experienced the failure of my marriage, pain, and confusion. But it was also these experiences that gave me the opportunity to re-examine my life and rediscover the meaning of life. I hope my story can give some inspiration and encouragement to those who are going through similar difficulties. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have a story to share about your own or someone else's experience, please feel free to contact me. Take care.